Talking all the time about what you don't have only reinforces that feeling of emptiness. Every thought centered on scarcity takes you a little further away from the abundance you could be creating. Living by thinking about lack doesn't solve anything. On the contrary, it wears you down, it blocks you, it limits you. The mind has an immense power. What you repeat becomes your reality, and if what you repeat is more lack you will attract. On the other hand, when you train your eyes to recognize what you already have, your energy changes, and with it everything that surrounds you changes. Gratitude isn't conformism, it's a doorway to more. There are phrases that seem harmless, but in reality, they're sabotaging your relationship with abundance. Constantly saying, "I never have enough money," isn't an innocent complaint, it's a powerful and limiting declaration. Thoughts like money goes faster than it comes in not only generate anxiety, they also tie you to a reality of lack. It's not magic or a coincidence. The universe responds to what it believes about you and about what you deserve. If inside you there's a story of scarcity, it's that story you'll continue to live. It's time to honestly observe everything you think and feel about money. Every limiting belief, every thought loaded with fear or guilt deserves to be seen, understood, and let go. Holding on to those ideas has only brought frustration, worry, and a feeling of stagnation. And if they haven't served you until now, why keep carrying them? Freeing yourself from them isn't ignoring them, it's choosing a new way of thinking, one that's more aligned with the life you truly deserve. Sometimes one deceives oneself into believing that economic relief will come when that perfect job finally appears, or when someone else decides to help. One lives waiting for a stroke of luck, an opportunity from the sky, as if the solution were always outside of oneself. Of course, imagining better scenarios isn't bad, but depending on them to feel peace is to live trapped in lack. That way of thinking doesn't create real prosperity, it only postpones your power, because when you believe that money can only come from the outside, you disconnect from your ability to generate it from within. Even when money comes in a sudden rush, like through an inheritance, it doesn't always bring lasting well-being. Many people who inherit large sums end up losing everything in a short time. The reason isn't the amount of money that changes life, but the mindset with which it's managed. Without a solid foundation, without awareness or responsibility, money doesn't stay, it escapes. And the hardest thing is that many times, those who lose it end up emotionally worse than before. Because real abundance isn't just about receiving, it's about knowing how to sustain it. The real problem with money that arrives without previous inner work is that it doesn't solve the essential. Because if your mindset remains trapped in lack, it doesn't matter how much you receive, the emptiness persists. When you depend on luck to improve your life, you're sending a very clear message to the universe. Only something external can save me. I am not enough to create my own abundance. And that belief, as silent as it is powerful, takes you away again and again from what you truly deserve. The transformation begins when you understand that you don't need miracles from others, but to awaken your inner power. When you decide to change your way of thinking, everything begins to align. You don't need a stroke of luck to live in abundance. You need a consciousness that knows how to sustain it. Because when you connect with the certainty that you deserve a full life, you stop begging for miracles and begin to create them. Everything you once dreamed of having, tranquility, freedom, well-being, begins to arrive naturally. And the best part is that you no longer fear it, you don't lose it, you don't reject it, because it's born from within. It's not about luck, it's about waking up to what has always been yours by right of consciousness. The true path to abundance doesn't begin outside, it begins in you, affirming what you desire with clarity, declaring your value without fear, feeling that you truly deserve it, and allowing it to arrive. Those are the steps that open doors much larger than any lottery prize, because what is built from consciousness doesn't crumble, and what is born from your deservingness doesn't escape. It stays, it expands, and it transforms you. Something that also blocks prosperity, and in a silent way is dishonesty. Everything you give to the world, in one way or another, returns to you. If you act from lies, manipulation, or abuse, life responds with the same energy, because abundance isn't just based on how much you have, but on how you get it. Taking without giving, taking advantage, deceiving, sooner or later has a price. Life doesn't punish, but it does reflect. And if you choose to walk with integrity, the universe recognizes it and gives you back much more than you can imagine. Maybe you think you don't do anything wrong, that you've never taken anything from anyone, but sometimes the theft isn't so obvious. Do you take ownership of someone else's time without valuing theirs? Do you take advantage of the trust they give you? Do you subtract instead of adding? Every small gesture counts, even those that seem insignificant. Because when you take something that doesn't belong to you, you're sending a deep and subtle message. I don't believe I deserve the good, so I have to get it and hide. And the universe listens to that message and responds accordingly. Start by honestly observing what beliefs are slowing down the flow of money in your life. Maybe you learned that money costs too much, that it's not for you, or that there's never enough. But just because those ideas have been present in your history doesn't mean they have to define your destiny. You can choose differently, even if no one around you has done it, even if you've never seen it with your own eyes. You can be the one to break that pattern. Open your mind to the fact that you deserve to live with freedom, with tranquility, with abundance. Because yes, it is also possible for you. If you want to attract a prosperous life, you need to start thinking like someone who already lives in abundance. The mind creates paths, and those paths are strengthened by what you repeat every day. There are phrases that aren't just words, they are keys that open invisible doors within you. I share with you 2 affirmations that have transformed my way of seeing life, and that can also transform yours. Breathe deeply, connect with yourself, and repeat them with intention. Prosperity flows to me with ease and joy. I deserve all good things, and I accept them with love. Make them a part of your routine like someone who waters a plant every day, because when the thought changes, reality doesn't take long to follow. When I started repeating these affirmations, my economic situation was very different. I had little, but something inside me told me that I could change, and that's how it was. The constant practice, the daily commitment to a new way of thinking, was what made the difference. Because when you plant thoughts of abundance with consistency, life responds. I've always felt that businesses, when done with love, purpose, and integrity, are a way to grow together. An opportunity to prosper, yes, but also to bless each other, to provide real value and build something that elevates everyone. I've never been able to understand the idea of doing business from fierce competition or cheating. That mentality of wanting to win by crushing the other isn't just destructive, it's also empty. There can't be true happiness when your growth is built on someone else's downfall. Abundance isn't scarce. The world is full of opportunities, resources, possibilities, but to experience it you first have to recognize it, and then be willing to share it, because what you give with generosity always returns multiplied. If someone who lived from pain, with deep wounds and without great opportunities, could change their story, then you can do it too. It doesn't matter where you come from, what matters is what you decide to build from today. Every day, give yourself a moment to connect with that inner strength that can do anything. Stand up, open your arms, and declare with joy, I allow myself to receive with joy all the good that the universe has for me. I trust in life, and I am grateful for every blessing that comes to me. Make it your ritual, make it your anchor, because life listens to you, and when you do it from the heart, it always responds. Repeat these affirmations with me with faith, with love, with power. I naturally attract the abundance that corresponds to me. All good things flow to me in multiple ways. I open myself to receiving more than I ever imagined, because I know I deserve a full life. My work is valued and rewarded fairly and generously. Money comes into my life in surprising and harmonious ways. I live in a universe of infinite possibilities. Doors open for me at the perfect moments. I deeply believe that we have come to grow, to support each other, and to elevate each other together. And that truth I honor in every gesture, in every word, in every decision I make. Today I enjoy a job that inspires me and allows me to live with fullness. Receiving and managing money with awareness is an act of self-love. I am surrounded by a generous, beautiful, and harmonious universe, and I value it deeply. I open myself with confidence to the inexhaustible flow of well-being that surrounds me. My relationship with money is based on trust and balance. Every day I allow abundance to enter my life with more force. Life always sustains me and offers me more than I need. I walk with faith because I know that everything is aligned in my favor. I deserve the best and I accept the best now. I free myself from all my resistance to money and allow it to flow joyfully into my life. You can't discover your creative essence while you continue to label yourself with limitations. When you repeat phrases like, "I'm not good at creating," you're turning off your own light. The mind believes what it constantly hears, and you are the one who has the power to change that dialogue. Creativity isn't a gift reserved for a few. It's a natural capacity that flourishes when you treat yourself with kindness and give yourself the opportunity to try. Every time you trust in yourself, even a little, something inside you activates and begins to grow. Within you dwells a natural creative energy waiting to be released. When you stop blocking it and allow it to flow, it amazes you, it excites you, and it transforms you. You're not separate from inspiration. You're part of an infinite source of ideas, beauty, and possibilities. You just need to trust in that invisible bond with life, and let that force express itself through you. Every person has their own unique way of expressing themselves, and it's not about comparing yourself, but about discovering your own voice. Some will do it with more fluidity, others in a more subtle way, but we all have that creative spark within. The truth is that every day we are creating with our decisions, with our words, with our way of living. We all have something special to offer. There are talents and skills in you that deserve to come to light, not to impress anyone, but to honor who you are. Unfortunately, many times we grew up surrounded by voices that turned on what shone the most in us. Adults who perhaps without mouth said things that marked us deeply. I once heard that someone couldn't dance because of their height. Another person was told that they weren't good at art because they drew poorly. And so little by little we came to believe that our creativity wasn't worth anything. We swallowed it out of obedience, out of a need to belong, out of fear of rejection. But today, from adult confident self, we can let go of those stories. They weren't truths. They were someone else's limits, and they no longer have power over us. Another common mistake is to believe that only those who paint, dance, or write are creative people. But creativity isn't limited to a profession or an artistic discipline. Creating is also the way you solve a problem, how you decorate your home, how you support someone with words that heal. Creativity is in the everyday, in the simple, in what you do with love and presence. You don't need to be an artist to be creative. You just need to allow yourself to be you, without fear, without judgment. We are creating at all times, even when we don't realize it. From the most invisible, like the body renewing itself, cell by cell, to the most evident, our emotions, our decisions, our relationships. We create with every thought, with every word, with the way we treat ourselves, and how we respond to what we experience. Our entire life is a work in constant construction. The job you have, the relationship you cultivate, your bank account, your inner dialogue, everything is an expression of your creativity. And when you recognize this, you reclaim the power to transform everything. You can be creative in organizing your ideas, in transforming a space with small details, or in finding solutions where others see problems. There are those who have the gift of listening with the heart, of motivating with a word, or creating harmony in any environment. Creativity is also shown in how you support someone in a difficult moment, in how you face your days, or even in the way you dress to expose who you are. Being creative isn't always seen, but it's always felt. What really matters isn't just what we do, but how it makes us feel. We want to live with purpose, with fullness, with the certainty that every step, because beyond goals, we seek that feeling of being in the right place, doing what nourishes the soul. And even if we sometimes forget We aren't alone on the path. There's always a loving guide that accompanies us, a greater wisdom that guides us from within. You just have to be silent and trust. When we feel that inner impulse to create, to express something bigger than ourselves, it's not a coincidence. It's not a whim of the ego. It's a call from the soul. The authentic desire to do something different, to contribute, to expand, is a soul, an internal guide that reminds us that we are meant to live with purpose. And when we listen to that voice and decide to follow it, life supports us. We receive signs, protection, opportunities, because we are aligned with what we came to do. True vocation is born from the heart, and trusting in it is the first step towards a full life. When life shows us a purpose, a direction, something inside us recognizes it. In that instant we have two paths: trust in what we feel and move forward with faith, or stay still, trapped in fear and doubt. But the soul always knows, and when you choose to flow instead of resisting, everything begins to make sense. Because growth isn't in what is known, but in what you dare to live. The key is to learn to trust in the wisdom that already lives within you. That part of you that doesn't doubt, that doesn't break, that always knows. And fear appears. It's normal, we all feel it at some point, but you don't have to wait to not be afraid to take the step. You can move forward anyway, with fear and all, because your strength isn't in not fearing, it's in not giving up. At every moment, whether we are conscious or not, we are creating something with our thoughts, our emotions and our actions. Creativity isn't something you have or don't have, it's something you live, you breathe, you express in the everyday. It's time to let go of that idea that we are creative. That belief doesn't belong to you. What does belong to you are all those projects, ideas and dreams that have knocked on your door, and the time has come to bring them to life. Never fall into the trap of believing that it's too late to start something new. Age doesn't mark the end of anything. On the contrary, many times it's precisely the beginning of the most authentic things. There are paths that only open when we are truly ready, when life has taught us enough to walk with purpose. Nothing makes sense until you decide to give a new meaning to your story. And that can happen at 45, at 60, or whenever you choose. Time has never been a limit, just an excuse you no longer need. If there's an idea that has been inside you for a while, a project that excites you, or simply the desire to feel more free and creative in your life, this is the moment. Allow yourself to enjoy the process without pressure, without judgment, with an open heart. These affirmations are here to accompany you, to remind you that your ability to create is infinite. Repeat them with me with joy, with confidence, and let your creativity express itself in all its form. I release any block that limits my ability to express myself freely. I am connected with the inspiration that is born from the depths of my being. When I allow myself to feel, creating becomes natural and powerful. Every day I open myself to experiencing something different, to exploring new paths. Time and opportunities are in my favor, and I can manifest my essence in any area I choose. I receive the support and love needed to move forward confidently towards my dreams. Every creation that is born from me fills me with fullness and purpose. I recognize my power to transform my life into something extraordinary. I feel free and at peace expressing myself in authentic and varied ways. I honor my unrepeatable essence, full of light, creativity, and beauty. I channel my gifts into I'm passionate about, whether it's writing, dancing, creating, or imagining without limit. I understand that my way of thinking shapes everything I live, and I choose to use that power consciously. My ideas flow freely, and I find the right words to express myself authentically. Every day I discover new ways to connect with my creativity and expand it. My work is an extension of who I am, and it gives me the space to show everything I have to offer. There are no limits to what I can create, grow, and achieve. For many people, Achieving professional success is a priority, and yes, it's possible to achieve it, but everything begins in the mind. If you drag negative thoughts about your job or about the people you live with there, it will be difficult to find real satisfaction. You can't attract something better for rejection or constant complaining. The key is to change your perception, to open yourself to seeing new possibilities where before there was only frustration. When you transform your way of thinking, you also transform the energy you bring to the place where you work, and from there everything can start to improve. I deeply believe in the power of sending love and gratitude to everything that is part of my work environment. People, spaces, time, everything can be transformed when I look at it with appreciation and no with resistance. And that transformation begins where you are now. Be grateful for your current job, not as a final destination, but as a valuable step in your evolution. This job is only one part of the path that leads you towards experiences more aligned with your purpose. Blessing what you have is opening the door to what is to come. The job you have today isn't a coincidence. It's a reflection of thoughts and beliefs you've held in the past. Maybe you learned certain ideas about effort, sacrifice, or success by watching your family, and without realizing it, you made them your own. But that doesn't define you. The important thing isn't where that programming comes from, but that now you have the power to change it. Every new thought you choose creates a different reality, and if you decide to think differently, you'll attract opportunities more aligned with your new vision of life. Play with love everything that is part of your workday, those who surround you, the space where you work, every corner, every day, from your boss to your colleagues, from the hallways to the simplest objects. When you send gratitude and energy, even if it's in silence, something inside you changes, and that new energy creates a lighter kinder, more harmonious kinder. What you from your mind and your heart inevitably returns to you. I've never understood the logic of treating others harshly in the work. Belittling, pressuring, or correcting from fear doesn't build. It only breaks. If you have a leadership role as a boss, supervisor, or manager, and you want people to give their best, you first need to treat them with respect and humanity. Fear blocks. Tension disconnects. No one can shine in an environment where they feel judged or insecure. True leadership inspires. It doesn't impose. It accompanies. It doesn't control. It feels good for all of us to feel valued, heard, and motivated. When someone supports you, trusts you, and treats you with respect, it's natural that you want to give your best. That's how it works. It worked too. If you generate a positive environment, you will receive genuine commitment, creativity, and collaboration. And if you're looking for a job, don't let yourself be dragged down by the belief that it's difficult or impossible. Others may experience it that way, but your path can be different. You only need an opportunity, and your open and aligned consciousness can be the key that gives it to you. Don't put your energy at the service of fear. When you hear pessimistic news about the economy or work, don't make it your own. Breathe, connect with yourself, and affirm with firmness. That might be the reality for some, but it's not mine. I always find ways to prosper, no matter where I am or what I do. Remember, your truth is decided by you, not by statistics or external voices. Where your focus is, your power is. Many people ask me how to improve their relationships at work, and it makes sense, because spending so many hours a day in a tense environment can wear down the soul. What few people know is that the key isn't always outside. Everything you give, whether it's respect, kindness, listening, or positive intention, comes back to you multiplied. This also applies to the workplace. When you choose to contribute with a conscious and loving attitude, your environment begins to reflect that change. The balance you seek begins with what you decide to plant. At work, nothing is a coincidence. Every person who is part of the team, from employees to leaders, has been guided by a greater force, attracted by synchronicity, purpose, and learning. We are here by divine right, sharing this space at this moment. When we recognize that, everything changes. Harmony begins to be felt, collaboration flows naturally, and the environment becomes more human, more productive, happier. We are here to grow together, and when we understand that work becomes a transformative experience. Every challenge brings a solution with it. Every question has an answer waiting to be heard. I don't get trapped in conflict. I choose to raise my gaze above the problem. From calm and consciousness, a way out always appears, and I know that even in the midst of difficulty, I have the power to restore harmony and transform any discord into growth. I am open to learning from every situation, even those that bring conflict or confusion. I know that nothing happens by chance, and everything that comes into my life has something to show me. Instead of blaming or resisting, I choose to look inward with honesty and compassion. I release the blame, I release the judgment, and I allow myself to recognize what beliefs or paths. In that clarity, I can let go of what no longer serves me and open up space for a new way of living and relating. You fully trust in yourself, and you know that success accompanies you in every step you take. You are connected with your purpose, and from that inspiration you flow with productivity and clarity. You give yourself to what you do with joy, knowing that serving others also nourishes your soul. Harmony lives within you and extends to everything that surrounds you. Your work relationships are filled with respect, collaboration, and balance, because that inner peace is also reflected in others. If you enjoy what you do, but you feel that your salary doesn't reflect your true worth, start by blessing what you receive today with love. Being grateful from the heart opens the door to more. Gratitude isn't conformism, it's a sign that you're ready to receive more without resistance or complaint. Stop focusing on what does and let go of the criticism towards your work environment. You are where you are because of the consciousness you've held until today. And that's not a punishment, it's an opportunity. Because with an internal change you can open yourself to something bigger, more just, more aligned with your evolution. Trust. Yes, you can do it. Throughout the workday, it's normal for tensions to arise, but there are small actions that can help you release stress and come back to yourself. One of the most powerful begins even before you leave home. Before you start your day, give yourself this moment. Sit in a quiet place, close your eyes gently, and focus only on your breathing. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and if thoughts appear, don't reject them. Just return to your breathing with kindness. With just 10 or 15 minutes a day in silence, you will notice how your mind quiets down and your body relaxes. It's not complicated. You don't need special techniques. Just be present with yourself. If at any point during the day, you find yourself thinking about your bones with tension or discomfort, stop for a moment, breathe, return to your center, and repeat this affirmation to yourself with intention and truth. I choose to offer what I desire to receive. My respect and acceptance towards others are reflected in every aspect of my life. This practice not only transforms the energy between you and others, it also transforms you. Remember, everything you give always comes back. Don't accept as truth any thought that limits you or makes you feel small. Your life isn't tied to the ideas of fear or the beliefs that others have projected on you. Your work, your path, your purpose are part of a divine idea. And when you remember them, everything changes. Before you leave home, make this affirmation your daily act. No matter where I am surrounded by infinite good, infinite wisdom, infinite harmony, and infinite love. Carry it with you as a sacred truth, because what you affirm with the heart becomes your reality. When the time comes to take a new professional step, the ideal position appears with fluidity, and at the perfect moment, trust that everything is being guided from something bigger, and open your heart to the new. Now repeat these affirmations with me, letting each word integrate into you with strength and clarity.
My inner joy drives the natural expression of my talents and ability. I am deeply grateful for the job I have today and everything it teaches me. The satisfaction I experience in my profession is reflected in all aspects of my life. I make decisions with security, clarity, and peace. I receive new ideas with enthusiasm, and I act with coherence and commitment. In my work environment, we support each other, and together we grow towards success. Every morning when I wake up, I choose to create a day full of purpose. What I awake with faith and joy manifests in my experience. I know there is a job along my essence, and I trust that we are approaching each other. I believe all are here to support each other, grow, and share the best of ourselves. And I carry that belief with me in every encounter, in every word, in every gesture. I choose to feed my elevates me and does me good.
Assuming responsibility, taking responsibility isn't about blaming yourself for every problem. It's about recognizing the power you have to respond to life's challenges. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control your reaction. Instead of saying, "I'm stressed because of this meeting," you can choose to say, "I'm choosing to feel peace even though this meeting is happening." This is a subtle but powerful shift in language that reminds you that you are in control of your inner world. The truth is, many of us use busyness and stress as a badge of honor. We believe that if we're constantly busy, we must be important or successful. We fill every moment with tasks and commitments, leaving no space for rest, reflection, or joy. But this constant state of doing is an illusion of control. It's a way to avoid being still with ourselves and facing what we might be running from. Genuine peace doesn't come from a lack of challenges, but from the inner strength to navigate them with grace. The power of stillness, finding moments of stillness, is crucial for reconnecting with yourself. You don't need a week-long retreat or a quiet mountain to find peace. It can be as simple as taking a single conscious breath. Inhale deeply, hold it for a few seconds, and then exhale slowly. This simple act calms your nervous system and brings you back to the present moment. It's a reminder that no matter what chaos is happening around you, you have a safe space within you that no one can touch. When you create this space for yourself, you start to see things with more clarity. The problems that seemed overwhelming before might suddenly appear smaller. You may discover new solutions or find the courage to let go of what isn't serving you. Stillness isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for your mental and emotional well-being. By giving yourself these moments, you're honoring your own needs and strengthening your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Listening to your inner voice. We live in a world filled with noise, constant notifications, social media, news, and the opinions of others create a deafening clamor that drowns out our own inner voice. This is the voice of intuition, the deep wisdom that knows what's best for us. When you're constantly seeking external validation or following what everyone else is doing, you lose touch with your own unique path. Your inner voice is always speaking to you through your feelings, instincts, and dreams. It's the gentle nudge that tells you to take a risk, to trust someone, or to let go of a situation that no longer feels right. It's time to silence the noise and start listening. Trusting yourself is the most powerful act of self-love. It's about knowing that you have all the answers you need within you. When you align with your inner wisdom, you stop seeking approval from the outside and begin to live a life that is truly your own. Embracing imperfection, a common source of anxiety and self-judgment, is the relentless pursuit of perfection. We often hold ourselves to an impossible standard, believing that our work, our relationships, or our lives must be flawless to be worthy. But perfection is a myth. It's a goal that keeps us stuck in a cycle of self-criticism and fear of failure. When we're afraid of making mistakes, we become hesitant to try new things, to express ourselves authentically, or to take the creative risks that lead to growth. Instead of chasing perfection, What if we embraced imperfection? What if we saw our flaws and our mistakes, not as failures, but as opportunities for learning and expansion? Every stumble, every misstep, every wrong choice is simply feedback from the universe. It's a chance to adjust, to grow, and to become more resilient. By allowing yourself to be imperfectly human, you free up an immense amount of energy that you can redirect toward creation, connection, and joy. You give yourself permission to live fully, without the constant weight of judgment on your shoulders. The role of boundaries, true self-care, goes beyond moments of stillness and positive self-talk. It also involves setting clear and healthy boundaries. Many of us were raised to believe that it's selfish to say no, to prioritize our own needs, or to protect our time and energy. We say yes to every request, even when it exhausts us, because we fear disappointing others or being seen as unhelpful. But living without boundaries is like leaving the door to your home wide open. It allows anyone to come in and take from you, leaving you depleted and resentful. Setting a boundary is not an act of rejection, it's an act of self-respect. It's a way of saying, my time and energy are valuable, and I choose how they are used. This can be as simple as declining an invitation, setting specific work hours, or communicating your needs in a relationship. While it might feel uncomfortable at first, setting boundaries is essential for maintaining your well-being. It creates a sacred space for your own growth and creativity, allowing you to give from a place of fullness rather than emptiness. Your life is a canvas. Your life is a continuous work of art, a canvas that you are painting with every thought, every word, and every action. The colors you choose, the strokes you make, and the patterns you create are all a reflection of your inner world. If you find yourself surrounded by chaos, struggle, or lack, it's a sign that you have the power to change the palette. You can choose to add new colors, to paint over old images, or to create a completely new composition. Don't wait for someone else to hand you the brush. Your life is yours to create. Begin today by being intentional with your thoughts and your energy. Imagine the life you desire, feel the feelings of joy and peace that come with it, and then take small conscious steps in that direction. Your reality is a masterpiece in the making, and you are the artist. The beauty of it is that you are never truly finished. You are always evolving, always creating, always becoming.